يحزنهم. أنا حرب لمن حاربهم، وسلم لمن سالمهم، وعدو لمن آداهم، ومحب لمن أحبهم. إنهم مني وأنا منهم، فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم، وأذهب عنهم الرجس وطهركم تطهيرا. فقال الله عز وجل: يا ملائكتي ويا سكان السماوات، إني ما خلقت سماعا مبنيا، ولا أرضا مدهيا، ولا قمرا منيرا، ولا شمسا مضيا، ولا فلكا يدور، ولا بحر يجري، ولا فلك يسري، إلا في محبة هؤلاء الخمس إلا إلا في إلا في محبة هؤلاء الخمسة الذي هم تحت الكساء. فقال الأمين جبرائيل: يا ربي ومن تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل: هم أهل بيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة، هم فاطمة وأبوها وبعلها وبنوها. فقال جبرائيل: يا ربي أتأذن لي أن أهبط إلى الأرض لأكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله: نعم، قد أذنت لك. فهبط الأمين جبرائيل وقال: السلام عليك يا رسول الله. العلي الأعلى ويقرئك السلام ويخصك بالتحية والإكرام، ويقول لك وعزتي وجلالي: إني ما خلقت سماء مبنيا، ولا أرضا مدهيا، ولا قمرا منيرا، ولا شمسا مضيئا، ولا فلكا يدور، ولا بحر يجري، ولا فلك يسري، إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم، وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم، فهل تأذن لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله: وعليك السلام يا أمين وحي الله. فإنه: نعم، قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبرائيل معنا تحت الكساء، فقال لأبي: إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول: إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. فقال علي لأبيه: يا رسول الله، أخبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله: والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا، ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض، وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا، إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة، وحفت بهم الملائكة، واستغفرت لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي عليه السلام: إذن والله فزنا وفازوا شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. فقال أبي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله: يا علي، والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا، ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض، وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا، وفيهم محمهم إلا وفرج الله هما، ولا مغموم إلا وكشف الله غما، ولا طالب حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجته. فقال علي عليه السلام: إذن والله فزنا وسعدنا، وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة. اللهم صل على محمد.
وعلى محمد وعلى محمد صلوات. So, assalamu alaikum everyone again. Can I just ask the boys who have just come in, can you all just first of all move towards the front and shift over onto the first, because there's going to be more people inshallah who are coming, and we don't want to be sitting outside the first. Bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. Can I get you guys? Can I get you to come in front? You, both of you, come and sit here in front, and you two as well. Come and sit in front, and you two as well. Actually, come sit in front. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. For those of you who just came, welcome to the third day of the Majlis. I'm pretty sure all of you were here when I said the thing about slouching, so I won't repeat that again. But yeah, so we're just going to do a short recap of yesterday's lecture. But before we do that, just a couple of points. Outside, when we go and play football, when we do whatever outside, basketball, wherever it is, cricket, have appropriate footwear on. Someone noticed that there was some broken glass yesterday on the pitch, and some people were in slippers, so that could end not nicely. So make sure that you're coming in trainers if you do want to play outside, yeah? That's one thing. The other thing is manners. So yesterday there were some people on the smaller pitch before we got there, and we kind of kicked them off, and that's not right. That doesn't go with the teachings of the Ahlul Bayt that we're here to practice. So if there are people on the pitch first, let them play, and if they're not moving, if they're staying, then ask them, can we join you, or do you mind joining us? And if they say no, then they say no, and then you have to do something else because they were there first. Yeah, so this is the manners that we have to take from the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. Please recite a loud salawat. A louder salawat. So the last thing is littering. We should have made this announcement on the first day, but you guys, generally, you've been really good. I go outside and I don't see much on the floor, but don't put things on top of the bin, in the playground, right? Don't put it on top of the bin. Make sure you put it inside, yeah, because then the bin just gets overflowed and then.
Can I say something?
Yes, please, yeah.
Sorry. Thank you. Just a quick reminder, we said that as soon as we enter, the first thing we see is shoes. I know I've seen Hussein tidying up, putting shoes on the shelf or in a line, but I don't think it should be somebody else's duty. It should be yours. When you come in, we'll do it today. We'll put it nicely on the shelves, but please, when you come in, put your shoes on the shelves or on the floor in a line. Thank you.
Absolutely. Please, guys, make sure you remember that, yeah? First thing that you do when you come in, take your shoes off, and then there's a sink there. You do wudu if you don't have it already, yeah? Bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. So now I'm gonna ask you guys about what you remember from yesterday's majlis. Just to remind you, the theme was the companions of the Imams, the good and the bad, why they were good and why they were bad. So anyone want to start us off? Put your hand up. Yeah, Migdad.
One example, some man tried to trick Imam by giving him fake coins for a bag of dates, but when he tried to eat the dates, they tasted that they were as honey.
Very good. I can't remember if Zuriyaab gave the name of that guy, but basically what Migdad just said, for those who didn't hear, a man approached. Put your hands up if you were here yesterday, by the way. Okay, pretty much everyone, mostly everyone. A man approached Imam Ali alayhi salam when he was. Oh, do you know why he was selling dates? Do you remember why he was selling dates? You remember why? No? Yeah? For charity, very good guess. Not the correct answer for this one, yeah. Exactly, yes, well done. Do you remember who he was filling in for? Okay, well done. So the brother mentioned that Imam Ali alayhi salam was filling in for someone. Who he was filling in for was Janabe, yes? Like his family, he called him, I think he called him his family, but it wasn't his family, it was Janabe Misam at-Tammar alayhi salam. So basically he was a date seller. and he had reached such a level with the Imam that the Imam came to him and he said, go and relax, go and go and rest. I'm going to do your job for you. So that was one of the points that Zuriyaab raised, which is that we can reach a level where the Imam will come to us and say, you go and take some rest, I'm going to do your job for you. That was the station of Janab Misam al-Tammar. So yeah, as Brother Mugdad was mentioning, he told him to go and rest. He took over at the stall, and then some guy tried to come and trick Imam al-Islam and he said, give me a bag of dates, and here's the coins. He gave him fake coins. He went home, tried to eat the dates. They were rock solid. He came back angry, threw the dates on the table. He said, why have you done this? Well, these dates are rubbish. And he said, and Imam al-Islam said, I gave you the value of dates that you gave me in fake coins. So that points to, one, the wisdom and the unseen knowledge of the Imam, but also the status of the companion of the Imam, Janab Misam al-Tammar, that we can achieve as well if we devote ourselves. Who knows what was special about Janab Misam al-Tammar? Why do we remember him? As Zuriyaab mentioned yesterday, why does he have a shrine in Iraq, and why do the billionaires of that time, or the really rich and powerful people, why do they have no memorable graves? Anyone know? From the sisters as well, anyone know? I'm going to pick on you. Yes. The brother said he was very sincere when selling dates. Yes. That's definitely one part of it. He was very sincere with selling dates. But the reason why he's famous to us and his story is how he was killed. The reason why he had that date stall and he looked after his date tree so much is because Imam alayhi salam told him, "O Misam, you're going to be killed on that date tree. Like, that's going to be the place of your death. That's going to be the place of your martyrdom." And Imam told him how he will pass away. And for him, that was such a special thing that he went and he watered that tree every day. He took care of it, and he nurtured that tree. If it was you or me, and someone told us, "Oh, that's the place where you're going to die," me and you would probably, I would probably just run as far away as I can from that place and never ever go there again, right? But this is the status of the companions of the Imam alayhi salam, the sincere companions of the Imam alayhi salam, that they weren't scared of death. They ran towards death because it was an honor for them, because they were dying in the path of Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Please, can you recite aloud salawat and move on to the next point? Were you here yesterday? Were you here yesterday? Were you here yesterday? Okay, anyone else? So we covered Janab Misam al-Tammar, and we covered the story about the dates. Anyone else? Hands up. Yeah? Yes. Yeah. Mm. Absolutely. Very good point raised by Brother Hadi. So there was another companion that Brother Zuriyaab mentioned, and his name was Hafaf al-Basri. And like Brother Hadi was saying, he came late. So Imam Hussain alayhi salam was martyred at the time of Asr on the day of Ashura, right? Yes? He was unconscious. That was a different guy, but very well remembered. So Hafaf al-Basri, he came late, and he was absolutely shocked to see, the scenes when he arrived in Karbala. Everyone was martyred, everyone on the floor. Then he came and he went up to the enemy, and the enemy said, "We've killed Imam Hussain alayhi salam, we've killed all the men, we've killed Ali Akbar, we've killed Qasim, we've killed everyone. all of the men, the cousins, nephews, uncles, everyone is dead. And he was shocked and he was trying to process it. And then Umar ibn Sa'd said, turn around, look behind you. We are now burning the tents. And what he did at this moment, first of all, he didn't, like Brother Zuriyaab said, he didn't just turn around and be like, oh, okay, fine. Well, I came to defend my Imam, but my Imam is no longer here to defend. So I don't really have a job to do, so I can go home now. That's not what he said, right? That's not what he said. He ran in the direction of the tents, and then he killed as many people as he could. So much so that people, the army of Yazid, instead of burning the tents, they shift their focus to this guy, because they were like, who's this guy? He's killing everyone. And then the command came to surround him, and then he was killed as well. And then he joined Imam Hussain as a martyr as a shuhada of Karbala, even though he came late. So the lesson there is, what's the lesson there? It's never too late. It's never too late. Anyone else? We've had Miqdad, we've had you as well. Anyone else? Anything you remember about yesterday's lecture? We had no one from the sisters. No one from the sisters was here yesterday? No? Go on then.
A man was returning back to Khaas and because he was about to go fight Imam Hussein. And his daughter asked him to bring back some keeping. And so the man went to the battlefield and he saw everybody crowded around Imam Hussein, and he wondered why they weren't going in. And so he got on his horse and started riding at Imam Hussein. But Imam Hussein called his name, which made him drop his sword and stop his horse. And then Imam Hussein said, I told him to take his keep ring and give it back to his daughter. And from that moment, the man started loving Imam Hussein.
Very good. And that person's name, so for those of you who didn't hear, Miqdad was just talking about Abdullah al-Azdi. I think I said that right. Maybe someone can correct me. He had so much sincerity that he came to Karbala to kill Imam Hussein. Unlike Hafaf al-Basri, when he got to Karbala, he actually was on time. So Imam Hussein was alive. He rode out by himself to attack Imam Hussein from behind. He ran up behind Imam Hussein. He was galloping on his horse. And then the Imam called out his name and he said, Abdullah. And that basically just made him freeze in his tracks. And he was like, how do you know? How do you know who I am? And then from that changed his heart. He spoke to the Imam, and the Imam said, go back to Kufa and here, take this ring. Because, and that made him even more, that deepened his love for Imam Hussain even more, because in Kufa, the conversation that he had with his daughter was, his daughter asked him to get her an Aqiq ring from the spoils of war. So that was one example of how sincerity, having sincerity, even though you may be on the wrong side and you may have been misguided. Because this guy, right, he didn't know what was going on really. His daughter told him that there's someone who's revolting against it. There's a bad person that the army, that all of the people of Kufa have gone to fight against. There's a bad person. That's what she said. And so he thought he was doing the right thing. But he had sincerity in him. He wanted to always know the truth. And that's why when he reached, his heart wasn't blind and he was able to recognize his Imam. So a couple more examples. Anyone? Yeah? Very well done. That story was actually from the first day's Majlis, if I'm not mistaken. But it's definitely a good reminder. Just for everyone who didn't hear, the brother said that once there was a man in the market and he was guilty about a sin that he had committed. So he was in his house, he was feeling guilty, then he had to go to the market. He went to the market, he had his head down because he spotted the Imam. And he couldn't show his face to the Imam because he was really guilty. So he turned the other way and he walked away. And then he kept walking through the bazaar, through the market, walking away from the Imam. Every time he'd look over his shoulder, he'd see the Imam is following him behind him. He would take another turn, but the Imam's still behind him. Then he reached a dead end. And then what he did, Brother Zuriyaab said that today when we don't want to speak to someone, we pull out our phone and we pretend that someone's calling us, or we pretend that, we're doing something on our phone. They didn't have phones back then, but they had this belt thing that used to come loose. So he pretended to tie his belt, but then he felt a hand on his shoulder, and then it was the Imam saying, whatever you've done, don't feel guilty. Even your guilt, don't turn your back on us, because we're always going to be there for you. And what Brother Zuriyaab said is that the Imams love us more than our parents, and that's something that we can't even imagine, right? That anyone could love us more than our parents, but it's true. And who loves us even more than the Imams is God, because they are an extension of His mercy. So thank you guys for everyone who did. Is there anyone else who wants to add something before? I'm conscious that we have no one from the ladies today. It's not very good. No one from the girls? No? Okay. Anyone from the boys? Last point? Last chance? No? Okay, fine. The last one was Su'aid al-Amr, who was unconscious and then woke up and then went into battle again, just like our brother pointed out before. So he didn't forget his duty. Again, like Hafaf al-Basri, he could have just got up and then walked off, because he was unconscious because someone had hit him. He had fallen unconscious on the plains of Karbala, and then he woke up later on, and he could have run away, but he didn't. He woke up and he went straight back into battle, and then he was shaheed. So I hope you guys learned as much as me from the Majlis yesterday. Inshallah, Brother Zuriyaab will be talking about a similar thing. He's going to be doing part 2 of yesterday's Majlis today. So he's going to focus on the Khaas companions, the special companions of the Imams today, inshallah. Please, what we're going to do now is, before we have Sur Salam, we're going to have a short speech in English from Brother Asad. Yes? And then we're going to have a few Sur Salam, and then we'll welcome Brother Zuriyaab. Bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
Bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. First of all, I'd like to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Ahlul Bayt and Imam Hussain and Imam Zamana for this Majlis, and I'd like to thank the 14 organization, Zulifiqar Bhai, and mostly I'd like to thank you all for helping me participate in this Majlis. Today I would like to talk about Surah Al-Asr, which is one of the shortest surahs in the Quran, but I'd like to talk about the first 2 ayats of the surah. So, with a loud salawat, I'll recite Surah Al-Asr. Bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات تواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. So this surah is really short surah and is a Makki surah. Makki surahs are revealed in the Makkan period, and the Makkan period is often associated with surahs that are more abstract, because the Makkans at that time were persecuting the Muslims, the early Muslims of Islam. So the Quran came down and it came with the more general meanings, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. However, in Medina, when the Muslims arrived after the Hijrah, then the Quran finally started mentioning Salat, Zakat, all these extra actions. So this is a Makki surah, so it's more abstract. So I would like to focus on the first two ayats of the surah, which is Wal Asr innal insana lafi khusr, which means by the time indeed mankind is in loss, which is quite an interesting thing for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to say about about the humans, about us actually. But at the end of this short speech, inshallah, I will answer the question. And if the 14 allow me, I will do another lecture about the last and final ayat of this short surah. One of the shortest surahs in the Quran actually. First of all, I'd like to dive into why does Allah swear by time in this small surah? Wal Asr. In our day, we only have 24 hours. And 1/3 of it we sleep. And another third we do for school, work, come. And then another part of it, you could say you have extra stuff, listening to parents, eating, drinking, toilet. So that leaves us actually around 3-4 hours of our day to actually do stuff, which is not a long time. It's only around 1/6 of our day to actually do something in it. But however, Rasulullah gives us the answer to this question, where he says, from the cradle to the grave, one must learn, which is a really big hadith, in my opinion. Actually most of us are in the summer holidays now, I'm pretty sure. It's July 30th. So we're in the summer holidays. And most of us, at least a big portion of us, are going into the big years now. Year 11, year 9, year 10, year 13, year 12, going to sixth form, uni. So this is a big year for a lot of us. And we can't really waste this summer doing nothing and scrolling. So we should make use of our time, isn't it? We should study a lot, learn anything, academic, language, Hoza, Arabic, Quran, anything that can increase your ilm. However, there's one big disease affecting us today, which is phones, scrolling. Scrolling is a big issue that I've noticed recently in the community. A lot of people scroll on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, Reddit, Snapchat, Facebook, and these are all dangerous. As Zuriyaab said, it's World Wide Web, and the web of the spider is there to trap people, trap prey. The home of the spider actually just traps its prey for it to eat, isn't it? So you have to be careful of that. However, tomorrow I'll give the answer to this question, which I said I'll give the answer now. But I would like to give a little reflection, which is that why does Allah say that we are in loss, all of us, no matter who we are, alim ad-din, youth, elderly, men, women, female. I'll answer this tomorrow, inshallah. And I would just like to leave you on a little note, which is that our time is quite limited. Because if you're the richest person, or the smallest person, the tallest person, or you are, like, for example, famous, everyone still has 24 hours in a day. And we should all utilize this 24 hours to make ourselves the best of that we can. And inshallah, with tawfiq and bihaqi Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, we should succeed and be able to go into Jannatul Firdaus. Bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, bulandar salawat.
Thank you, Brother Asad, mashallah, for that thought-provoking speech. Inshallah, I'm really looking forward to hearing tomorrow's continuation. We're running a little bit short on time now, so we'll welcome our brother Miqdad up for a salam in English. Bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
Salawat. Where has my Abbas gone? 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 Oh boss, you are my uncle. Oh boss, you are my brother. Oh boss, you are my son. Like you there was no other. You went to search for water. You searched so far and wide. You went for your brother's daughter. In your search for her you died. Where has my Abbas gone? Where has my Abbas gone?
Where has my Abbas gone? Where has my Abbas gone? You hear the thirsty children, you hear them and you hurt. Their hopes are slowly dimming, so you ride out to Furat. Your brother was your master, before him you'd never drink. To Furat you rode much faster, for Ruqayya you only think. Where has my Abbas gone? 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 Oh Yazid, may Allah curse you. You denied Hussein some water. You killed his 6-month son and you tortured his little daughter. Shackled and tormented her. Look, her earrings have now gone. She also had his father. Where has my Abbas gone? 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 Salawat.
MashaAllah, Miqdad, thank you very much. Just a note to everyone here, I think that's the first English recitation that we've had. So if anyone, you don't have to recite in Urdu. If you want to recite in English, whatever language, then please try and get involved, yeah? And come to me and come to one of the aunties, the volunteers, and let us know that you want to recite, and inshallah we'll accommodate you. Can we now welcome Brother Ayan to the stage with a loud salawat?
Salawat. Hai Ghazi जूंदे अमर गईयां अज बैना तेरियां हाय गाजी जूंदे अमर गईयां अज बैना तेरियां आवेख अलम बरदारे अज ज़ैनब पहरेदारे आवेख अलम बरदारे अज ज़ैनब पहरेदारे मेरे मुक गे मान बिरावां दे जदों रुकियां सावां तेरियां हाय गाजी जूंदे अमर गईयां अज बैना तेरियां सडमक तलवीर तैयारे अगे शाम वाला बाजारे सडमक तलवीर तैयारे अगे शाम वाला बाजारे परदे विच शाम दे औरतां ने रस्सियां विच इज़्ज़तां तेरियां हाय गाजी जूंदे अमर गईयां अज बैना तेरियां हाय गाजी जूंदे अमर गईयां अज बैना तेरियां नेज़े ते टुकरे चाए तेरे कातिला ने लहराए नेज़े ते टुकरे चाए तेरे कातिला ने लहराए विच मकतल جشن مناندے رے چک چک کے باواں تیریاں ہائے غازی جوں دے امر گئیاں اج بہنا تیریاں صلوات
Jazakallah, thank you very much, Brother Ayan. Can we have a loud salawat by Muhammad wa ali Muhammad? By Muhammad wa ali Muhammad bulantar salawat. کر چکے شبیر جب خنجر تلے سجدہ دا کر چکے شبیر جب خنجر تلے سجدہ دا ہو گئی پردیس میں کلثوم و زینب بے ردا ہو گئی پردیس میں کلثوم و زینب بے ردا کر چکے شبیر جب خنجر تلے سجدہ دا جرت زینب کا ہو گا تذکرہ بھی بار بار جرت زینب کا ہو گا تذکرہ بھی بار بار جب بھی دور آئے گی دنیا داستان کربلا جب بھی دور آئے گی دنیا داستان کربلا جس طرح آغوش مادر میں سکون مل جاتا ہے جس طرح آغوش مادر میں سکون مل جاتا ہے نکلی اس انداز سے برچھی کے اکبر سو گیا نکلی اس انداز سے برچھی کے اکبر سو گیا ڈھونڈتی ہے رات بھر پہلو میں اصغر کو رباب ڈھونڈتی ہے رات بھر پہلو میں اصغر کو رباب گونجتی ہے ہر لمحے اصغر کے رونے کی صدا گونجتی ہے ہر لمحے اصغر کے رونے کی صدا کر چکے شبیر جب خنجر تلے سجدہ ادا ہو گئی پردیس میں کلثوم و زینب بے ردا ہو گئی پردیس میں کلثوم و زینب بے ردا کر چکے شبیر جب خنجر تلے سجدہ ادا بر محمد و آل محمد صلوات. Can I please welcome dear brother Zuriyaab to the stage to deliver the Majlis. Bar Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad, Bulantar Salawat. Just before Brother Zuriyaab starts, can I ask all of you again to move slightly forward and more towards the left, more towards the wall, please. Bar Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad salawat. Can all of you, when I say Bar Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad salawat, can all of you recite salawat with your loudest voices, please? Bar Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad salawat.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا وحبيبنا أبي القاسم مصطفى محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين أما بعد فقد قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم من مات ولم يعرف إمام زمانه مات ميتة جاهلية. We begin first and foremost by thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala once more for His infinite mercy in allowing us to commemorate this Majalis for Imam Hussein, his women, his children and his family. And we express our condolences to the mu'mineen, mu'minat here today, bil khusus, Imam Zamana, on these days of tragedy and grief. Alhamdulillah, we've reached the halfway point of our discussion. We said the theme for these 5 Majalis would be focusing upon Imam Zamana and how best basically we can be for him. The first night we covered basically how This world is like a web. My brother Asad was reciting earlier very beautifully. This world is like a web, and this web is something that traps you. And the purpose of us as humans is to be free. When Imam Hussein on the day of Ashura, when he was in his final moments, the army wanted to test him. They wanted to see, was he alive or has he died? So they said to him, Hussein, we've attacked your women. We've now attacked the Khaymagas. Just then Imam Hussein, the narration says, he got up on his sword, because they thought he was dead. But he got up on his sword and he said, "O people, O army of Abu Sufyan, if you don't have any religion, because you're killing me, the grandson of the Prophet, and you're attacking the women now, at least be free in this world. Don't be chained to money and be forced to do things you don't want to do. Be free in this world." Yesterday then we said, in order to give ourselves some examples, we looked at the examples of the past companions. We looked at the likes of Zubair, where he was at one point, alayhi salam, sadly due to his, you could say, want for power and greed, he later became someone who was not alayhi salam. He deviated from the path. We looked at the likes of Hafaf al-Basri. We said yesterday, the companion who, when he came to Ashura, Imam Hussein had been killed. So he stood there, he looked the generals in their eyes, and he said, "Where's Hussein?" They said, "We've killed him." "And look behind you, Hafaf, we're attacking the Khaymagas." Just then, Hafaf, he got up and he began running to the Khaymagas. And the narration says he fought so bravely, not a single man could stand in front of him. So he would go, he would attack, and he blistered this attack all the way to the Khaymagas. At one point, the army forgot to loot the Khaymagas. They began attacking him. That's how strong this person was. Today, inshallah, we'll be looking at two examples of past companions as well, from the time of Imam Ali and Imam Hassan, and three from the time of Imam Hussein. A disclaimer, this list we've made, so we're only looking at 5 today, this list we made is not a complete list. There's so many other great, beautiful, important companions we have not looked at. But I've only picked these 5, 2 from the past and 3 from the time of Imam Hussein, just to make a point with our themes. The theme we're looking at is loyalty, justice and bravery, as in speaking for the truth when you need to. Before we get into this, I made the point yesterday, right at the beginning of the Majalis, that the purity of this Majalis is because of you brothers and you sisters. It's not the speaker who makes the Majalis special, it's you. You've taken your time out of your busy schedules, you've come here with the pure niyyah. You are what makes this Majalis special. And so this platform is yours. Like my brother Zulifiqar was saying earlier, if anyone wishes to recite, be it 1 line of poetry, 2 lines of poetry, anything, please do come forward, don't shy away. This dhikr is your dhikr as well. You get to honor the Ahlul Bayt through this. I'll give you a very quick story and then we'll go into our topic inshallah. Again, you know I mentioned COVID a lot because it affected me, like many of you, a lot. We never thought the world would be like that. You know, before COVID, you would see it in the films, but you would think, when will there be a lockdown like in COVID? And then it happened for almost 2 years. In Pakistan, I believe this happened in Karachi, there was one Azadar who, after the lockdown, he was partaking in the Azadari, in the Pursa, in the Matandari. And the way he was doing Matam, this other individual who was new to the area, he thought he was poor. The way he looked, he was a bit scruffy, let's say, his, sleeves were all over the place. He was crying loudly. And by the way, this is not a bad thing. When it comes to the Azadari of Imam Hussein, the narration says, cry for Imam Hussein like a mother cries for her young son. As in, don't be shy on who's watching you, what's happening. If you feel the connection, you feel the connection. You should be mourning and lamenting Imam Hussein. For example, Du'a Nudba, or let's say Zarat al-Nahiya, these are what? These are forms of lamentations which the Imam has for his Jad Imam Hussein, at least parts of it anyway. This individual says, I saw him doing matam and crying loudly in the halqa. I thought maybe he is poor. So he said, after the matamdari, I went up to him and I gave him 100 rupees. Now, if you convert that into pounds, let's say, how much is 100 rupees? 30p, 40p? Let's say 50p for argument's sake. He gave him 50p, 100 rupees, and said, this is for you, keep it. It looks like you might need it after, keep it. He said that Azadar took the money, he looked to me, he looked at the money again, and he just smiled. And he said, thank you. And he put it in his pocket and he went away. After the majlis, like how, mashallah, the brothers go to the park, the sisters come here and you play, you do your activities. After the majlis, traditionally, men go outside, they have their tea, they're speaking with their friends, other mu'mineen, they're asking about each other. This young man says, I went outside and I saw the best car come for that man who I thought was poor. And it didn't just come alone, there was a driver. The driver opened the door for him and allowed him to sit in. So picture this, for example. There's someone you see in the Majalis. By your culture, by your societal expectations, you prejudge him because of what you think should be good, right? But we don't know what Sayyidah Fatima accepts, what Imam Hussein accepts. And then the best car comes, an Aston Martin, a Bentley, a G-Wagon Mercedes comes outside. For that person, what would you feel like? What in the money laundering is this? How did he get that money? What's happening here? He went away. This man said, I asked the people, who is he? How can he afford that much money? He has the best of cars, but his clothing is very simple, very poor. They said, don't you know who he is? He said, no, I'm new to this area. They said, he is the CEO of a very big corporation. He immediately felt embarrassed. Now he's thinking, what must he be thinking of me? I gave him 100 rupees. This man owns like millions and so on. He said, I'm going to go to his office tomorrow. Give me the address. In person, I will ask for forgiveness. So the next day came, first thing in the morning, I went to his office. He said, now I saw him in the best three-piece suit. He looked so much, let's say, so to speak, cleaner, fresh. I said to him, I really want to apologize to you. He said, for what? He said, last night I gave you 100 rupees. I thought you were poor, but I didn't know you're the CEO of this big corporation. He said, no. In fact, I want to thank you. I said, what do you mean you want to thank me? Any other person will take it as an offense. You're giving me 50p. What do you think I am? I own millions. He said, no. I've told my family, keep those 100 rupees in my coffin when I die. I said, why? He said, so I can say to Sayyidah Fatima on Judgment Day that I did azadari for your Hussein in such a way, people used to think I am poor. But I'm not poor. I have you, the Ahlul Bayt. The point being, don't judge anyone else. Don't let others judge you. You're in this majlis or any other majlis you go to, be in your own zone, okay? You're all here for a reason, by the way. You didn't just get up and come here. Some of you think your parents brought you here. In fact, there's a special invitation that went to each and every one of you. You accepted, which is why you're here. Similarly, the companions of Imam Hussein also had special invitations. Imam Hussein himself said, you know, if you really want to see how Imam Mahdi will be, and if you can be in the army of Imam Mahdi, I made this point yesterday, I make it once more. Imagine someone from here, Brother Ali or Brother Abid, whatever, Brother Hassan Hussein, from this majlis, in 50 years' time, your name is mentioned as being someone who was the commander of Imam Mahdi's army. He would attend the majlises in Walthamstow, 14 majlises, youth majlises, now he's the commander of Imam Mahdi's army. What an honor that would be. Or someone from the sister side, for example, that she is now one of the 313. By the way, we'll look at this tomorrow. Out of the 313, 50 at least are women. What purpose they will have, we'll look at that tomorrow. It's not just all men, by the way. There's women involved in the army of Imam Zamana. It's a global national army. It's a national system. Imam Hussein says that, however, my companions were such that neither my grandfather Rasulullah, nor my father Imam Ali, nor my brother Imam Hassan had those companions. My companions are the best, Daraja Awwal, they're the best of companions. We'll look at 3 for today, but before that we'll look at 2 from the past. Can we have a loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ajal. The first, when I say to you Sahabi of Imam Ali or Rasulullah, what should come to your mind? Salman al-Farsi. Later on, Salman al-Muhammadi. Salman al-Farsi originally was from Persia. He came to Arabia and he got the name Salman Muhammadi because one day the Muhajirun and the Ansar, so the Muhajirun, those who migrated from Makkah to Medina, the Ansar who were there in Medina, there were 2 different groups. They were going to fight each other, a real war for the sake of Salman. When the Battle of Khandaq happened, who suggested let's dig a Khandaq around Medina? So a hole, a trench around Medina so that the army cannot jump over, they cannot attack us. Salman. When Salman had done this, everyone said, this is such a brilliant idea. Salman is from us. The Muhajirun said, no, he's from us. So a fight was going to break out. Rasulullah came, he said, he's neither from you, neither from you. Salmanu minna Ahlul Bayt. He's from us, the Ahlul Bayt. That's how high of a maqam he has. Hence Salman al-Muhammadi. How did he get this maqam? Ita'a. As in sincere, pure obedience. I'll give you another example here. In the time of Imam Musa Kadhim alayhi salam, the 7th Imam, he had one companion by the name of Ali ibn Yaqtin. Ali al-Yaqtin was in the government, and the Imam said to him, you can only work for the Banu Abbas if you allow and help our Shias when they come to you. However, on this one occasion, a Shia came to him, and he was very busy in his office. He said, go away. He said, but I need to talk to you. He said, go away, I don't have time. I'm really busy with my paperwork. He went back to Basra. From Medina, he went back to Basra, very hurt. The next day, Ali Yaqtin went to Imam Musa Kadhim. The Imam did not even open the door for him. He's standing there, he's knocking. Yabna Rasulullah, I've come with the khums money to give to you. Imam Musa Kadhim said, I neither want to see your face, nor do I want to see the khums. He said, Yabna Rasulullah, why? What have I done? I don't understand. He said, did I not tell you that I've allowed you to work for the government as long as you help our Shia when they come to you for help? Our Shia came from Basra yesterday. You sent that mu'min away angry. I don't want to see your face. So Ali al-Yaqtin then said, oh Mawla, how can I seek forgiveness? How can I become one of your companions again? The Imam said, go to Basra, ask him for his forgiveness. Now he's thinking Medina to Basra. Back then, you're talking about maybe at least a month journey. He said, Mawla, how can I get to Basra so quickly? It's going to take me a long time. I've got a job to do as well. The Imam said, don't worry. We will provide your vehicle. We'll provide you the travel. Go to Jannat al-Baqi tonight after Isha Salah. You'll see my camel. Sit on that camel. It will take a few steps. You'll realize you have reached Basra. This is known as Tayy al-Ardh. Tayy al-Ardh, very quickly, is basically the concept that the ma'soom imams and some of the ulama, some of those who are really spiritually high, they can make the earth shorter for them. So they can literally be in two places at once. Inshallah, we'll look at this on Friday. Ali al-Yaqtin sat on the camel, he went to Basra, he saw that Shia, he knocked on his door. He said, Ali, you've come to my door. It's an honor for me. He said, yes, I've come to you, but I've come to ask for your forgiveness. He said, of course, you're forgiven, go back. Ali said, no, not like this. I'm going to put my face on the ground. I want you to put your foot on my face. He said, why? I've forgiven you, just go. What's all this extra thing you need to do? He said, no, you don't understand. I want to conquer my nafs. Next time someone comes to me to ask for help, I was very arrogant back then. I thought because I have money and power, I can do anything. When I put my face on the ground and you put your foot on my face, it's going to humble me. I'm going to next time think before I speak. As an ita'a, true obedience to the Imam. Imam said, serve the Shia, I will now serve them more sincerely. Now this doesn't mean, my brothers and sisters, that if you've hurt someone, you say forgiveness, you ask the forgiveness, they forgive you, and you say, okay, now you put your foot on my face. Don't follow it literally. What it means is that from your heart, when you are sincere from your heart and you work with others and you cooperate with them, you won't even be in this position to begin with, that Ali al-Yaqtin was in. Now he came back to Medina. What does he see? Imam Musa Kadhim is standing there with his arms out wide. And he said, Ali al-Yaqtin, come to me, I want to now hug you. And he said, Ali Yaqtin, in this world, I'm standing in front of you like this. Don't worry. In the Akhirah, on Judgment Day, I will also be standing there for you like this. You did ita'a for who? You did it for me. True ita'a, salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ajil. True obedience, like Salman al-Farsi. They say he was on the 10th level, 10th daraja of belief in imama. What that means is essentially his belief in the wilaya and the love of the Ahlul Bayt was to such a level that his ma'rifah had increased tenfolds. They say one day Abu Zar is walking with Imam Ali shoulder to shoulder, but Salman is walking behind Imam Ali. They said, Salman, why are you walking behind Imam Ali? He said, because I want to walk footstep to footstep exactly where Imam Ali places his footstep. I want to follow my Imam ita'a footstep by footstep. And then they said, Abu Zar, why are you walking shoulder to shoulder? He said, because I want to be shoulder to shoulder with my Imam. Both are correct, by the way. Abu Zar is correct, Salman is correct. But it's how they saw the Imam. True obedience. Let's apply that practically. Quick show of hands. I gave you all, I don't want to say homework. You're not in school. Who went home yesterday and said at least thank you to their parents? MashaAllah, brothers at the back. Some sisters, MashaAllah. Brother over here. Some brothers. Inshallah, tomorrow, again, this is now our test of itta'a. Itta'a to whom? Imam Zamana. Do you think Imam Zamana would accept you and me if we're not grateful to our parents, if we don't help them out at home? Tomorrow, inshallah, I'll ask this question again, and inshallah, we'll have everyone have their hands up, inshallah. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ajil farajah. True obedience. That's what you can see the theme in Hazrat Salman. Second example, I just mentioned his name, Abu Zar alayhi salam. Abu Zar al-Ghafari, the Ghafari means basically he was from the tribe of Ghaffar. Now, no one really wanted to mess with Abu Zar. He was all alone in Makkah and Medina, later in Medina. But no one really wanted to mess with him because the Ghafari tribe were known to be bandits. As in Urdu we say badmash. As in back then, they were the looters of all tribes. They didn't really live in cities, but all of the main roads into Medina, his tribe would be sitting there. So if they found out you did something wrong to Abu Zar, you would know what would happen to you when you're leaving the city. However, Abu Zar, he disassociated himself from them. Originally he was with them, but as he got closer to the Ahlul Bayt, he left his old ways. He became a true Shia of the Ahlul Bayt. How? The theme you see with Abu Zar is truth, haqq, amal bil ma'roof, nahi anil munkar. Rasulullah said to Abu Zar, you live alone, you die alone, you'll be resurrected alone, and you're going to enter Jannah alone. Why, Ya Rasulullah? Because you speak the truth so much. People don't like the truth. You know, they say the biggest form of struggle is going to a dictator and to his face telling him you are wrong. That's the biggest struggle. Why? Because in the time of Abu Zar, if you said certain things, you would have gone missing. Abu Zar was banished to where? Lebanon. When you see the Shias of Lebanon, where do they get their origins from? Abu Zar, if you go back in history. They say Abu Zar, because of his truth, eventually he was exiled out of Medina and he died in starvation. But why? Did he stop from loving the Ahlul Bayt? Did he stop his truthfulness? No. Because he knows this world is small. The Akhirah is forever. And if I can join myself with my Imam through truthfulness, then I have one here and in the hereafter. By the way, these themes I'm presenting, you don't have to follow all of them. Even if you take one thing from this Majalis and you apply it, that's more than enough. The third example now, we're coming to more of the companions of Imam Hussein. I'm going to mention only three. You know all three of them. Before I mention these three, like I said, this list is not comprehensive. There are so many more other companions who deserve a whole Majlis dedicated just to them. Very quick example. The narration says when Imam Hussein left Medina, there was one companion following him who was so old that when his camel was moving, he couldn't stop himself from moving as well. You know, normally if you're on a horse or a camel and it moves, you are able to control yourself because you're on the saddle. But this Buzurg was so old, he couldn't even do that. So when the camel was moving up and down, he is literally, it looks like he's going to fall off the horse, the camel itself. Mawla Abbas said to Imam Hussein, there's someone following us from behind. Should I stop him? Do you want to see who he is? Imam Hussein said, yes, stop the caravan, let's see who he is. When Imam Hussein came close to him, he said, you're the companion of my grandfather Rasulullah. You are Abdullah Urwayya Ghafari. So again from the Ghafari tribe. He said, my uncle Hazrat Abdullah, you are at least 90 years plus. They say he couldn't even see properly. He had so many wrinkles, his skin was so old, he was tying a headband to keep his skin away from his eyes. That's how old he was. Imam Hussein said, my uncle, go back to Medina. You don't have to come to Karbala with us. Do you know what he replied? He came to Karbala. Do you know what he replied? He said, Hussein, I was there in Medina when your grandfather Rasulullah was on the mimbar and he was given a khutbah. And I saw with my eyes you entered the masjid. Rasulullah stopped his khutbah on the mimbar. He came off the mimbar to pick you up and then he went back on the mimbar. And he said to all of the Sahaba, I was one of them. I saw it, I'm an eyewitness, he says. He said to all of the companions, recognize my Hussein. Ali, 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 Ali.
Nagar, nagar, gali, gali.
Ya Ali. Bar Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. MashaAllah, may Allah bless the brother further. MashaAllah. So, in this example, He said that I was there. Rasulullah said, recognize my Hussein. If there comes a time when he is leaving Medina, make sure you're with him. He said, Hussein, how can I leave you now? I am also going to come to Karbala with you. Abdullah Urwaya Ghaffari. He didn't care what his age was. The Imams didn't care what your age was. In the Fihrist of the Shuhada, there's a 6-month-old baby. There's also a 90-year-old person as well. The age doesn't matter. It's the jazba you have. Another example. Amr bin Junada Ansari. Amr bin Junada Ansari was a companion, a young man. He was there with his wife and his young son. His son was around 7 years old. He went out on the day of Ashura. He got shaheed. A few moments later, his son, who was so small, he couldn't even pick up the sword. He had the sword, but the sword was dragging on the ground. You can imagine how heavy the sword was, but he's still dragging it across the ground. He came to Imam Hussein. He said, Yabna Rasulullah, I now want to follow my father. Allow me to also go. Imam Hussein looked to him. He was a young kid. You can imagine now. It's not in the narration, but you can imagine. Imam Hussein is on his knees, and he's looking at him, and he said, young son, your mother needs you. Your mother is now a widow. Go help your mother. Do you know what he replied? He said, that same mother sent me to you. She said, your father has become shaheed. Why are you still alive? You also go be shaheed. You see now what Imam Hussein said? My companions, there's no companions like my companions. Similarly, the companions of Imam Zamana, you're at that same level. Because Imam Hussein's companions gave everything. The themes we looked at yesterday and today so far. Similarly, the companions of Imam Zamana will also give everything for him. You know, you've got to bear in mind, guys, after the 6th Imam, all of the Imams, their ages decreased rapidly. Imam Musa Kadhim in his 40s when he was shaheed. Imam Askari alayhi salam, the 11th Imam, 28. Imam Jawad, 25. Imam Naqi in his 40s. Ages went down rapidly. Why? They want to get the Mahdi. So Allah said, you killed 11 Imams. You would have killed Imam Mahdi as well. When you go to Samara, may Allah allow all of us to visit Samara inshallah. You go to the Sardab. What's the Sardab in Samara? The last place Imam Zamana was seen alive before his Ghaibat al-Sughra. Why? He was 5 years old, but they wanted to kill him. They went behind him with their swords and spears. Allah said, 11 of my stars, my lamps you destroyed. This final one I will hide from you. I will only send him when the people are ready. This question was asked on the first night. If Imam Hussein had special powers, or if Imam Mahdi has special powers, why don't they just use their special powers? You know, they have wilayat takwini and tashri'i. They have these special gifts from Allah. Why don't they use their mu'jizats, their karamats? Why does Imam Hussein need his companions? Why does Imam Mahdi need you and me? The question is this, one simple answer. It's part of your test. The Imams are divine hujjas. You know the Quranic ayah that we sent you, Ya Rasulullah, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. We sent you except what? As a mercy to mankind. You only send something that's not there before. Allow me to explain. Rasulullah said the first thing created was what? My nur. He was sent on this earth in the form of a human being to guide the people to Allah. After Rasulullah, the concept of Imamah comes. Allah says, I will only send Imam Mahdi back when the people are fully ready for him. Because when the Imam is out of his ghaibah, whose protection is he now? Your protection, my protection, our protection. He's no longer in Allah's special protection. God forbid, if someone wants to kill him and there's no protection, they could actually make him shaheed. Just like all of the 11 Imams were shaheed. If the Imams used their wilayah, if they used their power back then, we wouldn't know haqq from batil. The Imams made their sacrifices for a reason. It's to show you and me the truth. That points us to this fact. Look how special you all are. The brothers here, the sisters here. You think perhaps maybe this won't hit you home today, maybe 1 year from now, 1 week from now, or tomorrow, when you think about it and you deep it. How special are you? That the Imams are sacrificing the veils of their sisters, the lives of the children, to bring you the truth. Can you imagine? The narration says, when Sayyidah Fatima alayhi salam was told, your Hussein will be killed in Karbala. Normally a mother is told your son will die. What does she say? How can I save him? When Sayyidah Fatima is told your Hussein will be killed thirsty, she knew why he would be killed thirsty. For Islam, for you, for the haqq. So that you people, you and me, us people, we don't get taken astray. What does she say? She does not say, how can I save my Hussein? She says, who will be there to cry for him then? Allah said, don't worry, Sayyidah Fatima. Allah will make a ummah. Their elders will cry for your elders. Their young will cry for your young. Their children will cry for your children. Their women for your women. Their men for your men. Do you know what Sayyidah Fatima says? She says, then I will not enter Jannah until they enter first. Know your maqam. You're very special to be here. You're invited in by Sayyidah Fatima. Just like all of you are special, this next companion was also special. Hazrat Hur. Again, you know the story. I'm just repeating it for the sake of it. Hazrat Hur became Hur how? They say he had a special love for Sayyidah Fatima. He was working for the government, 9 to 5 job. When he stopped Imam Hussein in Karbala, he said, I love you, I know who you are, we'll pray namaz behind you. But I'm working for the government, I've been given orders, I can't let you move from here. I ask you a quick question. You know when Shimr was killing Imam Hussein said to Shimr, you still have time. Don't do this. Khuli came to Imam Hussein to try to kill him. Imam Hussein said, you still have time, don't kill me. Ibn Sinan came to kill Imam Hussein, you still have time, don't kill me. Hur just stopped the horse of Imam Hussein, and Imam Hussein became, so to speak, aggressive. Why? You see, the Imams are not aggressive, they're not violent. They speak to you to get the best out of you. Imam Hussein knew in the heart of Hur, there's a special love for Sayyidah Fatima. Imam Hussein was trying to bring that out of him. Otherwise, today he would have been Lanatul alayh, so to speak. He was in the same class as Shimr and all the other commanders. He was a commander in the army. Imam Hussein looked to him when he stopped the horse of Imam Hussein. He said, Hur, may your mother sit in your janazah. May you die and your mother cry for you. This was bringing out the Hur we know today. He looked to Imam Hussein. He said, son of Rasulullah, had any other man in the whole of Arabia said this about my mother, he would know. I would say the same about his mother. But your mother, Sayyidah Fatima, I can't say anything about Sayyidah Fatima. They say this is why when Hur was shaheed, later on he could hear the children crying. You know, on the night of Ashura, his brother was there and he sees Hur sweating. Hur was a big general, by the way. If you look at his description, broad shoulders, big general, big tall man, strong guy. But he's sweating. He said, why are you sweating? What's happened? It's only 72 men. We'll fight them tomorrow. Are you scared of them? He said, I'm not scared of the men. He said, come with me. He said, he went near the khaymagars. He says, what do you hear from the khaymagars? He says, I hear children crying, al-atash, al-atash. The thirst, the thirst, the thirst is so much. Hur said to his brother, why are they crying this? It's because of me. I stopped them. So his brother said, what do you want to do? He said, I see myself between Jannah and Jahannam. By Allah, I will never pick Jahannam. So Hur became alayhi salam the only shaheed on the day of Ashura. You can fact check this yourself. The only shaheed on Ashura, only companion of Imam Hussein. When he was shaheed, Imam Hussein tied the handkerchief of Sayyidah Fatima on his forehead. Fast forward a few hundred years, in the time of Shah Ismail Safawi. Shah Ismail Safawi. He says, I've heard Hur was forgiven, but we don't know if he was really forgiven. He's the reason why Hussein was killed in Karbala. He stopped him. Let's dig up his grave in Karbala and let's see what condition he's in. You know what the historians say? They say when they dug up on Hur's body, it was exactly like how he was on Ashura. All the descriptions of the cuts on him, his armor, everything was as it was. Now Shah Ismail said, that rumal, that handkerchief he has on his forehead, Sayyidah Fatima made it with her own hands. It's something extremely special. It's from Jannah. He said, take this off and give it to me. When they took off that rumal, all the historians note, there were no photo cameras back then. People were writing down pages on their notes on their book. All of the historians said, as soon as he removed that handkerchief from the head of Hur, the blood from his wound began coming again on his face. They used other napkins, they used other forms of handkerchiefs. The blood was not stopping until they tied the handkerchief of Sayyidah Fatima on his head once more. That's when the blood stopped again. They said, this is the daleel that Hur has been forgiven. Meaning what? The love, the mawadda you have for the Ahlul Bayt, the mawadda that brought you all here for this majlis, along with the truth and ita'a, other things we've looked at, that's the best form of bringing you closer to the Ahlul Bayt themselves and to the Imam of the time. 2 more companions and we finish with this. The penultimate companion I want to mention, someone like me cannot speak about him, he's so high, but I will try anyway. Abul Fadl al-Abbas. My brother had recited earlier on the Marsiyah of Hazrat Abbas in English. Brother Miqdad, may Allah bless him, mashallah. Why did Abbas alayhi salam become Abbas alayhi salam? Again, because not just loyalty and strength, no. Obedience to the T. Obedience to the full stop. Imam Hussein said no, that means no. Imam Hussein said yes, that means yes. Even if I don't drink the water, you know, in the month of Ramadan, you're really thirsty the whole day. Time of iftar comes, naturally, you feel like having water yourself. Especially if it's cold and it's hot outside. Imagine not just 3 days. You know, they say 3 days the children were thirsty. Yes, children were thirsty for 3 days. The adults in Karbala were thirsty for longer. How comes? They stopped the water on the 4th of Muharram, not the 7th. On the 7th, the water they had from the 4th ran out. Now as adults, you're drinking a little bit, but who are you giving the water to? To the kids. So yes, the children were thirsty for 3 days. The adults were thirsty for much longer. Allah knows best. Imam Sadiq here says, my uncle Mullah Abbas, his heart was so thirsty, it was as hot as a coal. His chest was burning because of the thirst. In that alam, in that state, Abbas alayhi salam goes to the water. He could have taken one sip. Let me take one sip and I'll go back. No. How can the ghulam drink? How can the servant drink when the master and his children are thirsty? Similarly, if my Imam Zamana, this applies to me first and foremost, by the way. Imam Zamana wants me to wake up for Fajr. I would try my best to wake up for Fajr. My Imam wants me to be there for my mother, my father. I'll try my best to do so. My Imam wants me to be the best in my field, whether it's being a mechanic, an engineer, whatever. I will be the best in my field. Why? Because my Imam wants me to be so. If you can be there for Imam Zamana, then you can be like Mullah Abbas. There was only one Abbas. There's no more. No one can be like Mullah Abbas exactly. But these role models were there for you and me to follow their example. The last example I finish with for today, inshallah we'll continue our discussion tomorrow, is none other than Ali Akbar alayhi salam. Who's Ali Akbar? The narration says that when Hazrat Ali Akbar, when he came on the day of Ashura to fight, the enemy forces, when they saw him from the Banu Umayyah, you got to remember there were people there from the time of the Prophet. When they saw Mullah Ali Akbar, some of them were standing on their horses. There were so many, they wanted to just see how he looks. When they saw Hazrat Ali Akbar coming out, they said, wait, don't fight him yet. They said, why? We've killed Hussein's other children, his other companions. Why shouldn't we fight him yet? The call came, wait, we are verifying. Are you sure this is not Rasulullah who has come to fight? As in, he looks exactly like the Prophet. There's no difference at all. Do you know what Hazrat Ali Akbar proved? If Rasulullah had physically been in Karbala, these men would have killed Rasulullah as well. Hazrat Ali Akbar was that dalil. But what makes Ali Akbar alayhi salam Ali Akbar alayhi salam? Not just that because he looked like the Prophet. Imam Hussein himself said, Oh Allah, when Ali Akbar went to the battlefield, he said, Oh Allah, huwa ashbahun nasa khulkan wa halkan wa mantakan illa Rasulullah. Oh Allah, bear witness, this youth who is going to fight now, he resembled the Prophet in his looks, physically, in his akhlaq, and in his thinking. The kindness of Hazrat Ali Akbar, the ita'ah of Hazrat Ali Akbar, the love of Hazrat Ali Akbar. So much so when he was going, Imam Hussein said, stop. And he would hold his holy beard and say, Oh Allah, how beautiful of a son you've given me. But bear witness for the sake of Islam, in other words, for the sake of the people here today and all of the communities in the world, I have sacrificed my son for you. How did Ali Akbar become Ali Akbar alayhi salam? Not only because he resembled the Prophet, no, but his stance for the truth. When they're going towards Karbala, Imam Hussein was reciting poetry of death. Ali Akbar said, my father, are we not on the haqq? He said, yes, my son, we are on the haqq. We are little, only 70 or so men, and there are 30,000. Yes, but we are on the haqq. As Ali Akbar replied, then what difference does it make if we fall upon death or death falls upon us? As long as we are on the truth. The Bibi we honor today on a day like this is someone who also was very close to Imam Hussein. She's known as the Sharika of Imam Hussein, the sister of Imam Hussein. But like I said, we will never be able to do justice to the sister. Who are we talking about? Sayyidah Zainab. You know when Sayyidah Zainab was born, some narrations say the 1st of Sha'ban, some say the 15th of Jamadi al-Awwal. When she was born, Sayyidah Fatima gave the baby to Imam Ali. She said, you name her. Imam Ali says, I will never name any of my children unless Rasulullah does first. Rasulullah came home, they gave the newborn Bibi Zainab to Rasulullah. Rasulullah said, Ya Ali, I will also not name any of your children unless Allah commands me to do so. All of the names of Imam Ali's children came from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Pretty soon the call came, Ya Rasulullah, name this young youth girl Zainab. Meaning what? Zain, as in the beauty of her father. You know, you read Nahjul Balagha, you see Imam Ali in Battle of Khaybar Khandak, you see him in all these battles. Zainab is the reflection of Imam Ali alayhi salam. What a maqam Sayyidah has. They say just because of her khutbat, when she was reciting in Kufa and in Sham, the people thought Imam Ali has come back to life. As in, she was so precise and so fierce and so brave in her justice, standing for the truth, that it doesn't matter if I'm a lady, I will still stand for the haqq and I will conquer Sham and Kufa like none other. But it came at a price. This Bibi went through a lot of musibas. Again, a few years ago in Rawalpindi, Pakistan, Rawalpindi, there was a judge who was a Sayyid judge, a Mu'min Sayyid judge. He was as you know, in Pakistan, when the new court case comes in, they announce the name of the person and they say, Hazir ho, come to the court. One case came to this judge. They say he stopped immediately. And he said, I can't do this case anymore. He began to cry. And he said, the court is adjourned for today. No more cases. Do you know what name he said? He said, I heard the clerk come forward and say, Zainab Hazir ho. Zainab entered the court. He said, my mind went to the darbar of Kufa and Sham. I've just heard Zainab has to come to the court. I can't take it anymore. What about Imam Sajjad when he's standing there and watching all of this happen? Similarly, there's another respected reciter. He's from Canada. He says, I was reciting in front of two senior ulama, marja level ulama. They took off their amamas. They said, recite for us some musibah. He said, I recited one line. And they stopped me immediately. I said to them, and Zainab entered the bazaar of Kufa. He said, those marjas in front of me began crying so loudly, I wanted to continue on. What happened in Kufa, what happened in Sham, they put their hands on my knees. They said, wait, do you know what you've just recited? The likes of Zainab entering the bazaar of Kufa. How is this possible? The narration says, even before Kufa, on the day of Ashura, Sayyidah Zainab had to become Abbas. She had to become Ali Akbar. She had to become Qasim. When all of the other Bibis were worried, they looked to Bibi Zainab. But who was there for Sayyidah Zainab? The narration says, for example, on Sham-e Ghariba, when they were looking for the children, they noticed Bibi Rubab is not there. So Bibi Zainab went to look for Bibi Rubab. She found her by the grave of Ali Asghar. And she was crying. Bibi Zainab said, Rubab, why are you standing here? Let's go back to where the other Bibis are. She said, Zainab, my baby Ali Asghar, he was so thirsty. I am getting thoughts of him now. What do I do? Bibi Zainab held her hand. She said, Rubab, don't worry. Zainab is here for you. Come back. For Kulthum, there's Zainab. For Ruqayya, there's Zainab. For Sakina, there's Zainab. For Fidda, there's Zainab. But for Zainab, there's no Abbas. The narration says on that night, when all the children had gone to sleep, Zainab was seen walking towards the Furat. The narrator says, I would ask Sayyidah Zainab, where are you walking in the middle of the night? She would say, there was one goodbye I did not get to say. That was to my brother Abbas. He went to get the water. I didn't know he was not coming back. I left Medina, Abbas, because you were with me. Now my brother is no more, my Makna is no more. I finish with these words. Mukhtar, some of the maqtal we have today is because of Mukhtar. May Allah bless his soul. When he would capture the forge of Umar ibn Saad, he would ask them, what did you do? One individual he caught, he says, what did you do? He said, I would never forget the curse of Sayyidah Zainab. He said, what was the curse of Sayyidah Zainab? He said, she said to me, may you burn in this world, may you burn in the akhirah. He said, then what did you do that Sayyidah Zainab said this to you? He said, when the men were looting the khaymagars, I approached one of the daughters of Imam Hussein. I began looting her bracelets and her rings, as I was doing this, I was crying at the same time. She said, oh man, why are you crying? He said, because you are the daughters of Rasulullah. I am crying because of your Mazlumiyah. So she said to me, then why are you looting us? You don't have to do this. He said, Bibi, I'm looting you because if I don't do this, someone else will come and do it instead. This was one individual, but there was another individual Mukhtar quote. He said, what did you do on Ashura? He said, Mukhtar, if you can hear what I did, then hear what I did. He says, on the day of Ashura, all of the bibis had been looted, their maknas, the outer chadars had been taken, except for Sayyidah Zainab. He said, I asked the other men, why don't you approach her? They said, she's the daughter of Ali ibn Abi Talib. She has this haiba, she has this presence, this aura. No one can approach her. So he says, I remembered the boogers I had, the hatred I had for Imam Ali. I began approaching her. As I was pulling off her makna, she was fighting back. I saw there were rocks on the ground. So he said, I picked up one of the rocks. I began hitting it across the face of Sayyidah Zainab. You've heard how Abbas fell off his horse, but you've not heard how Zainab came to the Khak of Karbala. This was in Kufa, but I finish with these words. Now Zainab entered, this was in Karbala, now Zainab entered Kufa. What Kufa was this? There was a lady by the name of Habiba. Habiba says, I saw Sayyidah Sakina walking in the bazaar. I could see she was thirsty. So she said, I came up to this young girl. I said, young girl, I will give you some water, but in return, do dua for me. Sayyidah Zainab heard this. She said, no, Sakina, ask her what her dua is first, then drink the water. She said, oh Habiba, what's your dua? She said, my first dua is this: may my children never become yatim like how this girl has become yatim. Do you know what the ulama mentioned? Why is she asking this? Because she could see the effects of the beating Sayyidah Sakina took. She could see what halat, what condition she was in. She said, may my children never suffer like how she has suffered. Sayyidah Sakina prayed for her. She said, what's your second dua? She said, pray for me, Habiba, so I can go back to Medina. Zainab said, what would you do in Medina? She said, if I go back to Medina, I would visit Rasulullah, then I would visit my master Hussein, then his sister. She didn't mention the name. Bibi Zainab said, would you mention and recognize her sister Zainab? Habiba said, oh lady, don't say the name Zainab here. Don't you know this is a bazaar? Don't say these names here. They're the names of my master. Bibi Zainab said, Habiba, answer the question. If you could see Zainab today, would you recognize her? She said, of course I would recognize Sayyidah Zainab. Now Sayyidah Zainab raised her face. She looked towards Habiba. She said, Habiba, look at me. I am your Zainab. But I'm in a condition today. You don't recognize me. Habiba said, Sayyidah Zainab, this is you. Where is Hussein? She said, that spear you see in front of you, on top of that is the head of Hussein. She said, if that's Hussein, where is Abbas? She replied, look at the neck of the horse over there. The head of Abbas has been tied to the horse's neck. The head of my Abbas has been tied to the horse's neck. Allah la'natullahi al-qawmi zalimin wa saya'lamu allazina zalamu ayyamun kalibiyan kalibun. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the sake of Sayyidah Zainab, for the sake of Imam Hussein, for the sake of his Khaas companions, O Allah, accept our humble offering. O Allah, forgive us of our sins. O Allah, protect us and our families. O Allah, bless us with the ziyarah of Karbala. And O Allah, allow us to be there for Imam Zamana, fi dunya wa fil qabr wa fil akhirah. Bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. Matam Hussein.
Hussein, Ya 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 Hussein. Hussein, Ya 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 Hussein.
Don't leave me, 'cause maybe I won't get to see you again. It hurts me to think that this could be goodbye, my old friend. For many, many years, he gave me reasons to keep looking within. You bruise me, but leave me more in love with the one that was sent to take me higher, away from desire. And I've spent 10 nights in grief. I'm hoping for peace, but I don't want to sleep, 'cause when I close my eyes, Karbala, your land is in my mind. And I can't stop these tears, no I won't find peace tonight. This fire in my heart won't die, and even in my dreams I cry. I cry. I wait for you. Ya Hussein, I pray to be by your side. I'll listen to you. I promise, please just give me one more night to hear your story of helpless wishing I could save your life. But you give me courage to face the demons that I have inside, to take me higher, away from desire. And I've spent 10 nights in peace. I'm praying for peace, but I don't want to sleep, 'cause when I close my eyes.
Ya Hussein, 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 Ya Hussein.
मैं सदा देती रही तू ना आया गाजी, जब रिदा सर से छिनी मैं सदा देती रही तू ना आया गाजी, जब रिदा सर से छिनी मैं सदा देती रही तू ना आया गाजी, जब रिदा सर से छिनी मैं सदा देती रही तू ना आया गाजी, जब रिदा सर से छिनी मैं सदा देती रही तू ना आया गाजी, जब रिदा सर से छिनी मैं सदा देती रही तू ना आया गाजी, जब रिदा सर से छिनी मैं सदा देती रही तू ना आया गाजी। आले इमरान कहाँ और जिंदान कहाँ, ले बहन कैद हुई तू ना आया गाजी, जब रिदा सर से छिनी मैं सदा देती रही तू ना आया गाजी, जब रिदा सर से छिनी मैं सदा چنی میں صدا دیتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی آل عمران کہاں اور زندان کہاں یہ بہن قید ہوئی تو نہ آیا غازی جب ردا سر سے چنی میں صدا دیتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی جب ردا سر سے چنی میں صدا دیتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی جب ردا سر سے چنی میں صدا دیتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی ہم کو پانی نہ ملے تیری خوشبو تو رہے تیرے بازو نہ کٹے چاہے مشکی ساچ دے یہ مگر ہو نہ سکا تیرے بازو ہے جدا مجھ پہ ہے تشنا لبی تو نہ آیا غازی جب ردا سر سے چنی میں صدا دیتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی جب ردا سر سے چنی میں صدا دیتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی جب ردا سر سے چنی میں صدا دیتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی کتنی بے بس تھی بہن اے شہنشاہ وفا نام لے لے کے میرا جب یہ ظالم نے کہا ناز تھا جس پہ تجھے اب بلاؤ نہ اسے اور میں روتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی جب ردا سر سے چنی میں صدا دیتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی جب ردا سر سے چنی میں صدا دیتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی جب ردا سر سے چنی میں صدا دیتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی آ گئی شام علم لٹ گئے اہل حرم ریت پر جلتی ہوئی ہو گیا ٹھنڈا علم پرسہ لینے کے لیے مجھ سے ملنے کے لیے آ گئے بابا علی تو نہ آیا غازی جب ردا سر سے چنی میں صدا دیتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی جب ردا سر سے چنی
دھوپ میں تو
میں صدا دیتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی جب ردا سر سے چنی میں صدا دیتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی دھوپ میں تو تھا شجر تجھ سے آباد تھا گھر ہے برہنا میرا سر کیا نہیں تجھ کو خبر ہے علمدار وفا اس بہن کو باخدا تجھ سے ڈارس تھی بڑی تو نہ آیا غازی جب ردا سر سے
عباس تجھے رو رو بلائے زینب آجا عباس تجھے رو رو بلائے زینب آجا عباس تجھے رو رو بلائے زینب آجا عباس تجھے
رو رو بلائے زینب آجا عباس تجھے رو رو بلائے زینب آجا عباس تجھے رو رو بلائے زینب کیسے پابند رسل کیسے پابند رسل شام میں جائے زینب آجا عباس تجھے رو رو بلائے زینب کیا کروں یہ تو بتا بھائی نہیں سر پہ ردا سر پہ بابا بھی نہیں کون سنے میری صدا حکم ظالم کا ہے یہ حکم ظالم کا ہے دربار میں آئے زینب آجا عباس تجھے رو رو بلائے زینب آجا عباس تجھے رو رو بلائے زینب آجا عباس تجھے رو رو بلائے زینب میرا بابا ہے علی اور میرا نانا نبی درد و غم سہ کے بھی میں دین بچا کر ہوں چلی شام میں گونج رہی شام میں گونج رہی تھی یہ صدائے زینب آجا عباس تجھے رو رو بلائے زینب آجا عباس تجھے رو رو بلائے باد شبیر کے سائے میں نہیں آئی رباب غمزدہ بہن کو اس بات کا دے کوئی جواب دھوپ سے اس کو بتا دھوپ سے اس کو بتا کیسے اٹھائے زینب آجا عباس تجھے رو رو بلائے زینب عباس تجھے رو رو بلائے زینب آجا عباس تجھے رو رو بلائے زینب شام منزل ہے میری بھائی ہے بے گور و کفن نہ ہی ماتم ہے کیا نہ ہی کیا اس کو دفن بات یہ تو ہی بتا بات یہ تو ہی بتا کیسے بھلائے زینب آجا عباس تجھے رو رو بلائے زینب یا حسین 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 سر کو کٹا کے دین پہ سر کو کٹا کے دین پہ खुद करबला पे कर दिया तूने हुसैन या 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 हुसैन खालिक तेरा ममनून है खालिक तेरा ममनून है मुर्तज़ा फातिमा के नूर है या हुसैन 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 वाल मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु
بسم الله صلى الله عليك يا رسول الله صلى الله عليك يا حبيب الله صلى الله عليك يا خاتم الأنبياء ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام عليكم أهل بيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة السلام عليك يا علي يا أمير المؤمنين السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدتي نساء العالمين السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى وارث أمير المؤمنين ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليكم مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين خصوصا سيدي ومولاي أبو الفضل العباس بن أمير المؤمنين وقاسم بن الحسن ومسلم بن عقيل وهاني بن أروى وحبيب بن مظاهر وخر الشهيد الرياهي السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام عليكم أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والهجة القائم بن الحسن المهدي يا مولانا يا صاحب الأسر والزمان السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن السلام عليك يا مظهر الإيمان السلام عليك يا إمامنا وإمام الإنس والجان أسألك يا سيدي الأمان 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 من فتنة الزمان وشر الشيطان أجل الله تعالى فرجك وساحل مخرجك وظهورك وجعلنا من أنصاره وجعلنا من أعوانه وجعلنا من مستشهدين بين يديه ورحمة الله وبركاته بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم كل وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا وضليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك توعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
Can I ask you all before you sit down to recite one Surah Fatiha and 3 times Surah Ikhlas for the marhumin of Sajid Jafari and Nida Fatima Naqvi's families, and everyone, all of our marhumins. Al-Fatiha. If you didn't manage to read Fatiha because you were busy talking, then could you read Fatiha now, please? And can everyone quickly be seated? With a loud salawat, can you all move towards the Dastarkhan so we can serve you food? Bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad bulantar salawat. Muhammad wa ali.
I don't never done a hug. What do you mean?
Yeah, you did.
This is my brother from another mother, Zulifiqar. I'm sure you guys met before anyway. Camp UK. Camp UK, innit?
It looks familiar, yeah.
The Camp UK was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. Can everyone please sit down immediately? Sorry. If you sit down, then I'll follow you.
Boys,
Can everyone sit down so we can serve you tabarak, inshallah?